Yo guys, ALRT here. What does it mean when somebody tells you, I love the track, but the mix is not right yet? Or when you send a record to a label and they tell you, track is great, you just need to mix it better. Today we're going to talk about mixing. I'm going to show you some techniques of what I personally do. Let's get on with it. Okay guys, so what is mixing? Mixing is the process of fine-tuning each instrument of your track using levels, EQ, compression, panning even, and improving the sound quality of your track. Okay, so before actually going into the techniques we use to mix, we need to learn exactly where every element of the track needs to be placed in the spectrum. That's gonna help a lot when mixing the track because it's pretty much half of the work done, because you know where the kick is going to be, where the snare is going to be, where the leads are going to be, and where the hats are going to be. When I say where they are going to be, I mean within your frequency spectrum. Every range in the frequency spectrum has an element that is dedicated to it. And now I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Every genre has its own type of mixing, right? We are talking about EDM. Lowest frequency would be the sub. In between 40 to 60 hertz, you have the sub frequency. In between 50 to 80 hertz, sometimes 90, you'll have the kick, the bottom of the kick. After that, you have the bass frequency. Sometimes there are genres that there's no sub, just bass, like psytrance, but let's not get into it. Right after that, in between 160 to 250, you'll find the snare, like in dubstep, the bottom of the snare. Depending on the pitch, the bottom of the snare could be 160 or up until 250, sometimes even 300. Right after that, we're going into the low mid area. Now, I'm sure you've heard that somebody saying, drop the mid range. The mid range is the muddy part of the track, as some people call it. If you have a lot of mid range, it would sound very muddy, the track, kind of closed, and it's going to be hard for the top frequencies and the bottom frequency to kind of shine through. So most of the time we're really controlling the low mid, and we're trying to not push it too much. I would say 300 and 400, sometimes up until 500. Right above that, in some situations you'll find the clap or some leads from 500 until 800. You're getting into that area of like percussions, claps. Now we're going into the high mid. In the high mid, you'll find a lot of things. Most of the information in the track is coming from the high mid. So the top of the bass, the top of the snare, any kind of lead. Vocals, they sit from around the 600 up until 2000, the high frequencies of the vocal. And then as we're going up more, we're going into the hats, the highs as we call them. And the highs are called like that just because they're in around about 8K all the way till 18K. Hats, open hats, closed hats, rides, tambourines, shakers, all those are sitting there. Now we know pretty much about where we need to place every element in our mix. So now we've gone through every element of the mix where it should be inside the frequency spectrum. Now we want to apply it into the way we are working. So let's try that. Okay guys, so we're looking at Ableton right now. I just did a quick little project to explain how would I approach this and mix it. So first of all, we have the kick. By the way, all these sounds here are for my newest pack that's coming out on November 1st. Check it out in the description. Let's go over to the kick. We're looking at it. Check this out. We have the bottom of the kick is at 40 hertz. Okay? So now we know that we are sitting in the right spot. Now we're gonna add to this kick a bass line. See what's up also for my newest pack. As you could see, the sub of this bass is on 50 hertz. And that's because of its note. It's a G, so the sub in G is about 50 hertz. Now, immediately you know that some of those frequencies of the kick and the bass are sitting in the same area. We don't want that because that will cause a distortion because it's masking each other. Duck down the bass when the kick hits. I just use the kickstart a quick one here so we know it's ducking at the kick. So together. Now already you know, let's add to this an hat. I would probably cut this a little bit more, just so that area is dedicated to that hat, you know? As you can see here. Very simply, we're going for one element by one element, seeing how it's working together, and now continuing to the clap. In the case of this clap, it's not really bothering the kick. So let's see. Just a little bit too loud, but you saw that area where there was pretty much nothing in that area of the mix. Suddenly the clap comes in and fills up that area. That's really important because I have nothing to mask that track. Sometimes the top of the kick would be in that area, so you actually need to make sure you're ducking those areas in the mix from the kick so the clap can hit. Pretty much replace those. That's kind of the game you're playing here. A certain sounds come in, something else replaces him instead of being on top of him, you know? So right now we are good with those few elements. Let's add a little snare, which will be our percussion here. You can hear it's tiny little bit touching other elements in the mix. So what I want to do is take that and kind of curve away for it to kind of shine more. So I will take that and I'll filter the lows and filter the highs. So now what you're getting, dedicated space for that little snare. And we are talking now about the ride. Pretty much exactly where I want it to be. I might push the volume, might not. Tambourines, again, like we mentioned, tambourines are highs, the right area for them. And then all together. Now, let's say I wanted to add a vocal to all of this, okay? Production suite, and go to streets, and let's say street.
They wanna battle me now, trying to take over, but
take this little vocal little phrase.
They wanna battle me now, trying to take over, but can't take the crown. They wanna battle me now, trying to take over, but can't take the crown. They wanna trying to take over, but can't take the.
See, so now what I'm seeing here.
They wanna battle me now, trying to take over, but can't take the crown. They wanna battle me now.
For this specific mix, I already have enough on that area of the mix. So what I will try to do is kind of shift the vocal. And when I say shift, I'm going to shift the frequencies of the vocal. So more in the high mid, less in the low mid.
They wanna battle me now, trying to take over, but can't take the crown. They wanna battle me now, trying to take over, but can't take the crown.
So I made a conscious decision to have less in that area of the mix and more in that area of the mix. Now, I made this decision because I know I had already enough stuff on that area of the mix. So let's see how it sounds now.
They wanna battle me now, trying to take over, but can't take the crown. They wanna battle me now.
You see, immediately it kind of shines for more.
Can't let it rattle me now. This how I feel. I'm in love with the sound. I'm faded. Can't let it rattle me now. This how I feel. I'm in love with the sound. I'm faded. Can't let it rattle me now. This how I feel. I'm in love with the sound. I'm faded.
You see, already much better. In my opinion, get a little bit too much eyes to it, so I'll do this.
Can't let it rattle me now. This how I feel. I'm in love with the sound. I'm faded. Can't let it rattle me now. This how I feel. I'm in love with the sound.
So each area of the mix got its own unique place. So basically what I've done here is I created an area of the mix for each element. Let's say you didn't start from the beginning and did what I did, which kind of like I chose the right sounds for everything. Now you have to make decisions. what is gonna be in the front, what is gonna be in the back. Let's say a vocal is on, and the vocal is a main lead in the track. You need everything else needs to come down for it to come up. Always has to be like a give and take situation where something has too much of, or you remove that too much, make it less, or you just remove something else that has the same frequency, but you make a conscious decision to keep that whatever highs or lows in something. Always make sure the kick has its own place, its own area, and nothing bothers it. If you have nothing bothering the kick will always be there. You don't want to mask it with anything. I hope I could help you guys. This was a very quick tutorial. Don't forget, 1st of November, my new pack is coming out. Go check it out in the description. And I hope you enjoyed this. See you next time.